such a setup. And, I mean, I would say in terms of bans, you can definitely expect some form of intel or plant denial for the defense and or utility block on the offense, like Thatcher or baiting out Capital. That's been huge for these two teams. So you might be seeing that. So wouldn't be surprised to see a Maverick and a Capital gun.
So let's see. The one thing to know, however, is that Senshi blue team are defending. So we're just going to be seeing the colors inverted as to what you would be usually used to having. But still, your your guess was absolutely good. Capital is now being banned. And he'll probably be banned a bit less frequently as soon as Wamai gets into play. Wamai will probably mix that meta up quite a bit. What's the second attacking operator that you expect to see removed here?
Either Maverick or Thatcher, I'm calling it. And it is going to be Nomad. Okay, interesting, but still a logical pick. Coming out of, I believe it is the side of the attackers. So that'd be POGCHAMP, right? I think
yes,
so. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
POGCHAMP are attacking. Yeah.
Yep. I get mixed up with the band sometimes. Yeah, so it's going to be Nomad being taken out by POGCHAMP. Again, reasonable for them to take her out. She's a really good flank denial operator. Interesting that it's going to be taken out on the side of the attackers rather than the defenders. But that's probably, in my best guess, a target ban. Because, of course, there are other operators that can do just as much as Nomad, take her place, have that flank denial. So, I definitely would assume that is a ban.
So it's not as if these teams don't know each other. It's not as if the competitive community is a somewhat exclusive community. And it's not as if everybody doesn't know everybody, right? So target bans, the regular Joe Schmo is not really going to know about them. But at the pro level, they're basically the norm. So without any surprises, Armory Locker and Archives is going to be our first bomb point or our first bomb site to defend. I mean, it's really, really rare to see teams going like the unusual route to throw off their opponents on this map out of every map. For example, other situations, we can see the unexpected bomb site being selected, but it rarely, if ever, happens on Border. Looking at the composition, we do have 3 heavy operators, 3 ACOGs as well, coming off of Senshi, so Doc, Rook, and Echo. Why are we selecting 3 ACOGs? I don't really expect them to actually use the ACOGs to go spawn killing out of 3 different angles like you might in casual or in a low rank game. And there are not that many long angles aside of the corridors that you might want to hold. Or, yeah, there's the one in office, but one ACOG would be sufficient for that, wouldn't it?
I mean, office is a huge staple in the defense. It's becoming a more popular staple of competitive play. So you can definitely expect the reasoning behind that. And I think Echo is just being used for his plant denial ability. More so, Doc and Rook are going to be the 2 operators that are sitting in office or holding long angles down 90. That they could be on a roam. I know Doc is pretty famous for his, well, recently for his, for sitting on 90 or east stairs and holding, of course, fragging that gun with the ACOG, that MP5.
So here we are going to be seeing the first attempt at a push from POGCHAMPs. It is obviously going to come off of the end of that hallway as the defenders are. Oh, is that going to be a kill?
Oh.
Drip. He just saw somebody on the cameras, but he did not realize it. Like, if you see it moving, you obviously know it's either a drone or a pulse. But right now he failed to notice. Right there, just go for the kill, please. Go for the kill. Will that work? It does work. There you go, Drip. He had to take his time.
No.
The timing was just so perfect.
Yeah, that's Echo. out of the way for the attackers. That's so unfortunate. But Plant Denial Operator is going to be downed and out for the rest of the round. My biggest question, though, is Cobra going to say anything about that? What is his dispute to this problem? Not so much as of right now. He's sitting in CCTV. He's getting pincered by two different sides of the attackers. And
So-
I'm kind of questioning, is he actually going to receive such pressure now or later when he actually deals damage to the attackers? We're going to have to see. As a 2v4 shows that Yoji, well, he's not going to outgun that Thermite with the ACOG. Now, two operators is going to be the GIGN boys. A 2v3 situation. Slap picking up 1 kill. Jarvis. And the diffuser now going down. Thermite is the only one sitting in the objective as of right now. However, Kardama is going to make short work of that one, but Sly picking up yet another kill. 2v1 situation. Chala holding for him a rappel angle. Is he going to pick up one? No, but he's going to leave the defenders very helpless. 1v1 situation. Kardama is at super low health. He's going to make a peak, very small one at that. Unfortunately, not going to do too much damage to Chala. Chala playing very passively and, well, in the right mind at that one. However, Kardama is going to be going down to Chala by the end. POGCHAMPs picking up the first round.
Wow, that was almost a retake. And I do mean almost. Have you seen the kills that we've got? Doc boosting Rook, Rook rushing in spite of the flash nade, getting a kill flashed. I was surprised his flank was not watched, or his flank. Oh shit, I did not update the replays before showing them. It's gonna be a black screen. Sorry guys. Yeah, so Rook, Rook rushing in, blinded, does not care, gets the kill. His flank should have been watched, or he should have died from his flank from the outside. But apparently either Sly was providing cover fire, or nobody was there. Right here, we're gonna see it right here. He was boosted, gets flashed, rushes in, gets the kill, does not die in the process. How does that not happen? Doc then taking the upper hand, he goes in for the kill, as such protecting Rook, but their comeback was stopped thanks to Chala. Chala with the rappel angle. What a savior!
That gives me Pengu vibes. That gives me
yeah.
Pengu vibes. He was in a 1v3 situation. I remember that. He planted on inspection. And he was in a 1v3 situation and absolutely dominated all of the defenders coming for him. It was like a round-winning, like, clutch. It was so amazing from him. And that just, that whole rappel situation reminds me entirely of it. Anyways, getting out of that, I kind of am gonna put into question what the attackers were doing, specifically Thatcher, what he was doing in terms of supporting his Thermite, because I feel like it could have been a more one-sided situation had the attackers been more supportive of the Thermite in the objective, or maybe if Thermite hadn't played so deep trying to make the plant happen. It just seemed like all of the support for him, all of the direct angles being held for him were just entirely dissipated by the time the GIGN boys made their way for him.
So, just opening up a parenthesis, jumping out of subject real quick. I know you don't look at the chat too much, because I know how not disruptive, but it can put you off. I have to, should there be a production error or something that chat lets me know. Somebody said you should have Jess's job in the chat, so I figured you didn't see it. Apparently people like what you're doing.
That's a simp. I'm sorry. That's a simp move. I really like Jess, and I actually like hearing her. Oh. I appreciate the compliment, but that's a bit of a simp compliment.
Alright, so there we go. Chala already putting some pressure on the CCTV area. So obviously Cobra is no longer there. He was, though. He's made his presence known. He's obviously attracted POGCHAMP's attention. But now Chala is basically just chasing ghosts. And depending on how long it takes him to realize that there's nobody there except Sly, well, they might be losing some time. Doc is alone, however, unlike last round where Cobra was with him. So he should be a somewhat easier target to deal with, but yet he remains undefeated and unchallenged, really. He has not engaged himself in a significant firefight until now, and he just misses his shots.
Unfortunate, yeah. The elusive Doc running around through rotations into 90 and out of. See, if you were to be caught on the crossfire from any of the attackers, that could be game over for CCTV control for the defenders, and then therein that it just becomes an easy game for the attackers to make work of. Now with a shot onto Zofia, that's gonna be a lot of damage for her, and Yoji picking up a kill on that, but it seems like the plant is going to be going down for these attackers, even with Echo still up. A flurry of kills, more so for the attacker side. Now 3v2, Trippin picking up his second kill inside of the round. Jarvis getting lots of damage dealt to him from Yoji. 3v1 situation. Murdy getting a kill on the MP5K suppressed, or MP5 suppressed, my bad. That's not Mute's gun. Now Jarvis, he has a very, very low health, does not have the diffuser in hand, and unfortunately, well, the round is going to be lost at this point. We'll be honest.
Yeah, he doesn't even have time to run from one opponent to the other. The nade was just tossed at random. You know, save the op, as they say. Unfortunate, but there you go. Senshi winning the second round due to time, and that's basically how you do it. They were able to get control of the diffuser, retain control of OBJ, get a few kills, or like you said, actually a flurry of kills in the meantimes, and that was just game over at that point.
Right, see, what I didn't like from that attack from POGCHAMP was the fact that they believed they had security while they were planting, when in reality, they were losing out gunfights left and right. They're playing way too aggressive on the face checks. They didn't have security of the objective at all. They could have wasted, or really spent, a lot more time putting utility and resources into, let's say, verticality, trying to figure out where the attackers were, maybe even planning out and execute from a different part of the objective of the map itself. Let's say going into office, right? They could have made such a good round off of playing in office, and yet they didn't. That's my question. Why were they so one-sided, first of all? Second of all, why did they have that sense of false security? Maybe it was intel, or I'm not even sure. And third of all, where was the doc in office? That's my, do you remember where the doc was? Because I know he was sitting in CCTV at one point.
Yeah,
Not sure
so
if
he had
rotated.
to come back. Yeah, I think he rotated using the main corridor, so he just walked in that door, which does not exactly give him the best angle to deny anything, but he didn't really have to either. His teammates were doing pretty much everything. It really does boil down to the fact that POGCHAMP were attacking way too early, or way too aggressively. They thought, like you said, they thought they had control of OBJ, tried to plant, it just backfired massively in their face, and now I do hope for their sake that they're not going to commit the same mistake again.
Right, it becomes a game of, can you actually secure a sizable amount of the objective to where you can safely plant, not just safely plant, but plant and hold cross angles to support your teammates, not die out and make it, let's say, a 1v1 situation where, you know, it's all or nothing.
So, 2 minutes 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Top floor still in Senshi's hand. And how will the pressure mount? Obviously, Trippin now will be opening up the armory wall, and as such, that silhouette, I believe it was Cobra, just fell back. But to some extent, the push will have to happen pretty quickly here, as, you know, if they cannot get the first entry kills in a rapid and decisive manner, the situation might end up being stagnant for quite some time. And should we get to that, well, POGCHAMP will be hard-pressed to push into the objective with, say, 30 to 20 seconds remaining on the clock. That could pretty rapidly degenerate in a unfavorable situation for them, in my opinion at least.
They're talking about my oh, that's so funny. Okay, no, I was paying attention to the chat there. I was just making jokes, big jokes, but regardless, it doesn't seem like anything too unorthodox is going on over here. It really seems like a very standard play into the top floor, leading and, you know, segueing to verticality and an attempt at one of the objectives, we'll say vents at this point. Of course, the attack does seem to be a little bit shuffled here, and now with the kill of Buck being Jarvis, unfortunate as that is. Chala now, he's going to respond to that, killing Yoji. Now that is the UMP down, as well as Castle. You know, at this point, though, he does most likely have all of his Castle barricades down, so wouldn't necessarily call it an impact frag, but in the end, it's going to be Thermite as well going down to the kill, and Valkyrie finding yet another kill for himself. That is Sly. And Kardama, is that going to be a Nitro Cell kill? It will! From Murdy onto Drip.
So there you go, the defenders. Senshi absolutely knew where the pressure was going to be coming from, because at every single step of the way, POGCHAMPs were just met with someone who was there to block their advance. We've tried pushing up the top floor. We've tried pushing up the main door actually kind of worked. And then we've tried pushing up Thatcher by the storage unit's window, or ventilation's windows, should I say. And that also failed due to that fateful Nitro Cell. So POGCHAMPs really did not find a decisive way into the building, let alone the objective, and were just met with resistance every step of the way.
True. So, 2-1 scoreline. Interesting as it is. Again, it does seem like a battle all the way through on border. And a defense-sided one at that, of course, as the tellers and bathroom is going to be chosen.
Indeed, that's somewhat unexpected. Not every team is going to go tellers and bathroom. Actually, most teams will usually go on the other bomb site, which is going to be customs and storage, I believe it's called. And as such, probably POGCHAMPs expected to be attacking customs, and for that exact reason, they're not going to really have a selection of operators that has been tailor-picked to attack this bomb site. Still, they're going to have a thermite on their side, which is somewhat important because you do expect, obviously, to have to open up that wall, which is not reinforced for some reason. And if not, well, the top floor will obviously be held pretty actively by the defenders, so this reinforced wall will become a top priority as well. Let's see how it plays out. The attackers slowly but surely coming in. But apparently Puck was on the other side of the map. Is it to encircle the defenders, or did he just pick the wrong spots? I could not tell you. But the pressure will definitely be coming off of the east balcony, trying to find 1 or 2 kills through the main windows. That's just not gonna happen.
Indeed. So, Chala's going to be watching those tellers' windows, and with the good reason. Of course, it does cut off any good rotations coming from the defense, as well as watching the east stairs for his fellow attackers, as well as this bandit. He's going to be sitting in the office hold, having that hatch open. Now, of course, having the hatch open is a double-sided sword. It's a double-edged sword. That's what people like to call it. It basically means that if the control does fall to the attack, they have complete, well, angles into the objective. Not only that, but entire controlled area all around it, so they can make and execute and very easily just by dropping through the hatch itself.
Indeed. Right now the pressure is slowly but surely mounting, so you can see Sly was roaming and he will be absolutely spotted. Cannot exactly go that route again. He's kind of stuck there for the time being. Kardama slowly, apparently losing space for some reason. Well, not for some reason. The jammers are still in place because of the frag grenades. Okay, that's why Bandit had to fall back, but now he's back right at the hatch, which is exactly where you want him to be. And the attackers, other than for the first frag, the first blood on Jaeger, have little to nothing to show for their time. They're not exactly pushing forward, and if you cannot clear the top floor, well, how can you actually push on the objective next? That's going to be a big question. Ghost going in, getting the first kill, but Yoji's still there, still going strong. He gets a drone, he gets a flashbang, but he is still there, still with 100 health. He's the last defender up top, though, so he will have to do everything on his own, and that's just too much to ask off of Yoji, which is why he just jumps down. The situation is now a 1v5 situation. Attackers are set to funnel into the objective.
Right, it's gonna have to be a retake at this point. The diffuser is mounting its way inside of the objective. That's a nitro cell throw, and an unfortunate one is Chala. He's gonna find the shot, headshot at that on, well, unsuspecting Mozzie.
And Mozzie was not exactly overexposed. Only the tip of his head was showing, so, you know, I gotta commend the accuracy and I gotta commend the aim on that kill, on that shot here.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh yeah, it was. So that is going to be a 2-2 score line. Nobody has the upper hand, and you know, only because an even number of rounds has been played. If we were to see an overtime situation, that would be the map to have it on, as it would be perfect for the story, for the show. It was an absolute train wreck for the blue team at the very beginning. They lost 7-0, but it was not enough. POGCHAMPs were not able, unfortunately, for them to win out the second map. And here we are, tiebreaker. And what can I say? POGCHAMPs' momentum that they had on the first map has been totally halted. Absolutely destroyed. The odds are now pretty much even. They were for the second map, and they seem to be here as well.
Showing up indeed. Now it does seem to be similar, if not the same exact team composition, coming in with those 3 ACOGs on the defense. Yeah, it is, right? So of course we saw before that the Doc was sitting in CCTV holding on the stairs along with the support from either Mozzie or Jaeger. The Echo would be sitting respectively in the objective, holding in either lockers or archives, depending on, you know, the circumstances of whatever objective is being held at that point. But Rook, he's actually an interesting one. I know he normally sits around, if not inside of the objective, but he, this time around, seems to be in offices. I'm not sure if he was always placed in offices.
Yeah, I think he was. He's holding the long angle. Yeah, he's holding the long angle towards CCTV, the CCTV door.
Got it.
Which will alleviate the pressure on Doc, because we know how difficult it is to actually hold CCTV. There are so many ways to front lane or to hold cross angles on that faithful room, which is why, you know, having some remote help from Rook, you know, proximity when you have a gun is no problem at all. But Rook here, Kodama seems to be receiving some pressure. There's a drone at the top, and Trippin will exactly know what he's going up against. Kodama has not, as far as I know, spotted the drone. And as such, the attackers will have perfect intel for whoever wants to go in against Kodama.
Right, and with the pressure mounting up at that breach, yeah, it definitely seems like Thermite's holding a very hard angle for whoever decides to face check him at that moment. Can't necessarily see people face checking him with that ACOG, but of course, who knows, right? But Kodama, he's going to be hitting out the intel once again, but Sly, he's picking up a pistol whip on Chala, and another kill is going to be for Trippin.
There you go, the gig is up, the yokai drone has spotted you. Is Jarvis still going to hold on the angle? He has to get the diffuser, he does, but will he actively try to get the firefight? That could be dangerous, yet he seems to remain committed. Buck is also pushing in, but from the other side, maybe he can just divert some resources. That flash, oh no, that unfortunate flashbang. And that's going to be, once again, a flawless round for Senshi this time. Both teams have been able to win it flawlessly once on this map. And I could not tell you for the life of me who's gonna win.
That round was indecisive by POGCHAMPs. You don't normally see that from them. That's why I'm kind of going, you know, hard on them. It's a little bit confusing to see POGCHAMPs just kind of stagnate and hold angles, waiting for intel from their team. It seemed like Thermite was holding the angle on the breach, but then he had no supporting operators to come in and help them. And normally you're supposed to have the Thermite droning, so not quite sure what's going on there. Is he not, you know, doing his job? Is he supposed to be holding angles? I don't really get that, but in the end, of course, they were played to the advantage. That whole engagement was played to the advantage of the defenders. They took and capitalized on every single stagnating angle. They played aggressive just when they needed to, got the kills, found the firefights, and won the round. There you go.
So here we are. Round 6, last round till the roll swap, just as somebody drops a triple integral in the chat. I am not gonna solve this for you. It brings up PTSD. Yeah, chat is actually really nice. Like, there's a lot of people talking, and yeah, we do have mods there, but generally speaking, you know, the ambiance is positive and
oh, you should have seen it a couple of seconds ago when I made when I called a guy who made a nice comment a simp.
Yeah, sorry.
They were going
just keep
insane
one eye on the
me.
chat.
It's funny though. It's funny.
I really do like this
No, it's funny.
ambiance we're having. It is really nice.
It is nice. It is nice. You'd love to see positive people in chat.
Oh yeah.
And not just like when we had 1,200. No, it was like 2,000 or something.
2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 2,000 viewers for the invitationals. Oh, it was a whole different breed. It was a whole different man. It was a whole different. It was totally different. Jumping
back.
into the game. Jumping into the game. I'm gonna finish that up. Okay, you go ahead.
So we do notice this time that both Bandits and Mute are present, and with the absence of Thatcher, it is going to make it so much more difficult for Thermite to do whatever you want him to be doing. And there's a single Mute Jammer here. Looking at the bans real quick, we can see that Thatcher has not been banned at the top of the screen, as you can see, and yet he's not going to be present. Without a Twitch either, really you're going to be needing IQ to destroy that Mute Jammer, and as it's not going to happen, the attackers POGCHAMP are going to have lots of difficulty opening up that reinforced wall. But as I say this, I believe it was a Zophia's impact nade that dealt a lot of damage to Bandit and enabled Thermite to open up the Texan Dynamite, or to breach the wall, should I say. As such, with just over half of the round remaining, the attackers are basically set to flush out the top floor roam before they can direct their attention towards the objective itself, just in time for Chala to leave the game. I don't know why he left, but that's going to be a 4v5 through no fault of their own. Unfortunate, but hey, that's what we're going to be dealing with.
Right. Indeed. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do a rehost. You know the rules, of course, better than I, being the ESL caster here.
Yeah,
but regardless,
they're entitled to one rehost per map.
Right. Okay. So yeah, just checking in on those rules. It does seem that they're going to be an inherent disadvantage, but of course, Yoji's going to begin the kill feed for this round, finishing off Drip. And now on the hatch, it seems like Trippin is going to have to go around to Office if he wants to find his way to, well, use his last Texan Dynamite. Now, of course, he's going to be dropping down to first floor. My question is he going to be supported by his teammates, or is he going to find the engagements himself? It seems like he will. He's going to find Sly. 4v3 situation, but it seems Castle. Oh, no, not Castle. Cobra finding the kill there, but flurry of kills as Cobra getting the double kill. It is up to Trippin solely to plant the diffuser and defend himself.
Oh, I hear Nitro Cell. Oh no. Oh no, he might even have done it had he stuck to his guns. But the insecurity is going to lead to Senshi winning round 6. Oh, unfortunate. So, just in time for a rehost, as it's been asked for in the chat, or in the in-game chat, we are going to be having a 42 situation. So, this was on Workshop. Okay, yeah, so let's go with the replays, and then we will set up the rehost. And in the meantime, since I will be just fumbling with the in-game menus, I would invite you to take the lead and to take the mic.
Wow. So, the caster is hot. Is he single? That's so funny coming from your mouth.
No, that's my girlfriend, so you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. It is, isn't it? I completely forgot.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is not, is he single? That's so funny. No. So 409 viewers. That's enough to make a decent response. I know we're gonna be a little bit behind, but I have to ask. Who is everybody's favorite player tonight? Who is the MVP of everybody's world? It seems like people are going in on Yardy. They're saying like, Yardy GOAT, Yardy amazing. What else? They had Chala. They had, I forgot. They had a few other people though. I know. So my question to the chat is, who is your favorite player in this 3-pronged match?
So we had the blue team attacking both times
like
at the
casting.
beginning and on overtime. I'm thinking out loud because that's how you make absolutely sure that you don't have a mistake. Because, should I make a mistake, we're set for another rehost, and that would be the worst thing ever. So let me just, to really make sure that I don't goof anything, the first round was played on, and obviously if I do goof up, please let me know, which is another reason why I'm saying this out loud. So we went Armory first round, and that was won by the orange team. Second round, Armory again. This time blue wins. Third round, it was Workshop. Workshop won by the blue team. Fourth, Tellers. Faithful Tellers won by the orange team. Fifth was Armory again. Blue team again. And sixth was Workshop by the blue team. And as such, it is a 4-2 scoreline for Senshi, surprisingly enough. So Senshi leading 4-2. I see orange team 1, 2 times, and blue team 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I would be good. I would be set. I'll let you just take it back. Usually if you have an observer, a dedicated observer, he won't clog up the mic by doing this. But I am on my own. How's your night so far? You hungry yet?
A little bit. I'm
sounded
hanging
sarcastic.
in there though. I'm hanging in there. I am a little bit hungry, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's the other way around. Orange team attacks both at the beginning and on OT. All right.
I actually had pizza myself earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so bad for me too. It was so it's one of those guilty pleasures. It's so bad for you. Oh man.
So here's a funny thing. I personally, the last time I had casted was the weekend before Sixth Invitational. So basically 2 weeks ago. And dare I say, it's good to be back, and it's good to be casting with you again. I had missed casting, to be honest, within 2 weeks. So hey, I am back, and I'm here to stay.
Oh yeah, I might as well say I've been with ESA. I know we had a few people from ESA in here earlier. A few of the observers. I'm not sure if the casters were in here or not, but I saw them, and yeah, I basically been casting a few weeks. 2-3 weeks consecutively for ESA.
3 weeks by now, I think.
3 weeks, yeah. I haven't really been keeping track, but a couple times a week I just go in there and cast, try to get better. I guess that's the best way.
Oh yeah, that's how you improve upon yourself, by basically doing it over and over and over and over again.
Yep. Trip calling the tactical timeout.
Well, yeah, it's not really a tactical timeout. It's more a technical issues caused timeout.
No, it's the tech timeout.
All right, everybody's back in.
All right, time to start. Oh, the match.
Trippin' Bad is ready, so PogChamp are ready. Senshi, they're ready. All right, so good luck, have fun, and let's start the game.
All right. Border once again, this time on roll swap.
Yes.
I'm really excited for this.
So we've seen now how Senshi defended, the roll swap, or the default roles were inverted. Blue team started defending. Now it is gonna be up to PogChamp to defend this map. Let's see if they're any more or any less successful than Senshi at doing so. Definitely, the first thing I'm gonna see is look at that bomb site, bathroom tellers. To me, it screams confusion and disinformation. Their goal is to expect Senshi to custom pick a composition to attack tellers, to attack Armory Archives, expecting the defenders to be there, which they're not gonna be. And as such, PogChamps might just have, by looking at the composition, the upper hand due to that little subterfuge. It yet remains to be seen if it's gonna be enough to win the round, but that, say, counter intel or subterfuge once again. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that little subterfuge is.
We're not doing this again.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Do we get a rehost? Yep, rehost.
Are they asking for a rehost?
Fun time. Fun time. So everybody has been responding to what I said to the chat. And everybody's saying Kardama. Everybody loves Kardama. I mean, no surprise there. He is a god. I do love Kardama. I love all the players equally. They're all really good. They're much better than I'll ever be. I think that both of us will ever be combined.
Well. What do we have here? Another rehost. Look at that.
Yep, another rehost.
So here's an open question.
Back to the drawing board.
Here's an open question. So we've heard that COS were somewhat unreliable lately. Should I jump us into SCUS, which was like the preferred alternative? Yeah. I've been asked, what's my mic? Audio Technica BPHS1. I'd say it's a professional broadcasting microphone, but considering it's in a professional price range, it's pretty much entry level microphone. So yeah, let's do this again. On Senshi, the guy in my friends list is Murdy. There you go. He's gonna get an invite. In the meantime, the map is border, the band operators. Wow. Yeah, do you wanna just keep talking? Because I am not gonna be really entertaining for the chat right here.
Give me a quick moment. I was just responding to a few things.
So
Can you
how
just
do you
believe
think
these transforms? That's what somebody said.
how do you think this this rehost is gonna affect the momentum? Because Senshi were more or less on a roll, like they had double POGCHAMP's points, and now, well, both teams are gonna have time to cool off, basically. So, do you think it's gonna help POGCHAMP, or do you think Senshi will have the time to dissect exactly what POGCHAMP are doing, and as such, like just come in stronger than ever right after that rehost? Or how do you expect this round to go, or this game to go?
Well, I feel like every time a specific team gets a moment to themselves or kind of can get a reset in momentum, it always goes towards the attacking side. I don't know why, but I think it's the ability for them to stand back and say, hey, we can counter strat this, we can work through this, and maybe even find an outlet into their defense where we weren't thinking about before, and therefore, get an easy way to the objective or get an easier execute, maybe find a few frags. Either way, it would always benefit the attack some way, shape, or form, because they can actually think about it. With the defense, it's like, well, we're going to have to make the same setup. I mean, we could have a little bit of different positioning for the attack, but again, you don't really know what the attack is going to give you until they have it.
Yeah, until it's too late to actually prepare for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, fair point. Absolutely fair. So in that instance, you would say that Senshi are being advantaged. Because
especially at a 4-2.
Yeah, the advantage that they don't really need. Because that's something that's interesting. At Invitational, I don't recall exactly which game it was, but there were technical delays. It was in one of the semifinals. It was like one of the late games. There was this technical delay problem that caused the game to basically pause. Was it BDS against NIP? And the losing team just started winning the rounds or catching back up because the attackers just lost their momentum by basically pausing what they were doing. I can't remember if they were attacking though, so I cannot basically challenge or disprove what you were saying. And I didn't know any better. That's why I asked you. So thank you for this nice explanation. Wow. another rehost, 2 in a row. So the good slash bad news is both teams have used up the only rehost they're entitled to have. So the game is set to continue as soon as the 10th player here on Senshi joins back in. But the flip side to this is, should anybody else lose the connection in between in the meantime, well, the teams is just gonna have to deal with the fact that they're gonna be playing 1 or 2 rounds in a 4v5 manner, which is not really wanted, you know?
Right. So, conversation topic. What is everybody's second favorite game or first favorite game outside of Rainbow?
Oh, wow. So since
Yeah.
the chat is gonna have to catch back up just because of the delay, I am going to say Insurgency Sandstorm. A small
you know
title
what?
that you probably don't know, or that most people probably don't know. I'd say it's basically if a Call of Duty style map was being played with Rainbow Six, a tactical realism style gameplay movement and stuff, you know? So yeah, it's basically what I like with R6, but in an outdoors environment without the destructibility. There you go. That's my take on it.
Okay. Personally, I've been into the Witcher series for
Oh,
big
yeah.
into the Witcher series. I got the whole, I think around Christmas time. Oh my gosh, I've been so slow with it. I got the whole bundle for it. I got 1, 2, and 3, and let me tell you, playing 1 is a bitch. It is so hard to play. It is so hard because the game mechanics are so outdated. It's like an early 2000s game, but third person. So it's so choppy sometimes to play. Don't play it. But it's still a great storyline, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. Now, however, getting into the game, what do you have to say about this?
Let's see. So there's going to be no more rehosts. Let's just hope for the players' sakes that the game is going to be cooperative now. Wow. Are we in need of another Operation Health? I hope not. Round 7. Round 7, now POGCHAMP's defending. Bathroom tellers. We had not actually jumped into the preparation phase before the previous rehost, and as such, no drones from Senshi have seen through the ruse, and assuming they're not watching the stream, they won't know that we're going bathroom tellers, because that strategy hinges on disinformation. And should the gig be up, POGCHAMP are going to be basically on the back foot, defending a somewhat weaker objective with basically the hope of playing off of the advantage of surprise to win their defense, you know?
Right, now, something interesting to point out is the first site that POGCHAMP's going to go to is bathroom tellers. You can tell that this is not a primary site for most teams to go, and their motivations behind it most likely lie within, setting the attacking team off guard, or maybe even that they're very well versed in this, or could even be saving strats for them on terms of defense. We're gonna have to see though as the time plays out. It seems pretty much of an orthodox hold though. Yeah, they're opening up all the hatches, trying to play off of the roam, having a little bit of an extended objective, we'll say. Trying to, just have as much area from the top floor that they can hold out.
And also, POGCHAMP are gonna have some nice intel on this round. So you have both Valkyrie and Mozzie, who will, and plus Mute, sorry, as well. It's gonna be a nice intel and counter intel combo. As such, intel-wise, I do expect POGCHAMP to have the upper hand for this upcoming round. You do have a Thatcher and an IQ on the enemy team, granted, but you really want to use an EMP just to destroy a certain Overlord or a certain Mozzie pest. And that, to me, does not look like, or does not sound like the best use of this utility. But, we'll see what comes of it.
Right, so the intel is going to be put into full swing for the attackers as Thermite finally gets down to charge in office. Now Drip opening up the kills. He's going to get a double feed for himself, picking up the shot on not only Thermite, but Yoji. That's the IQ down, leaving Thatcher on his lonesome to have to respond to that double feed.
Yeah, that kind of just collapsed, didn't it? I
Yeah,
don't really
so unfortunate.
expect.
It's the face check. It's the face check coming out from the breach, and it was so successful to the point where they didn't even expect it.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
will someone peek that hatch right here? It is Mutes. Mutes is, yeah, silhouette. He does not know that the angle is being watched.
Oh no.
But Sly could just toss a nade up.
That's just what I was thinking.
Just
He could get a
use
double kill
drone.
right there.
Yeah, get the intel and use a drone and get the double kill. Because for real, okay, Fermata are now Cobra is supporting them, so maybe they can just go for a face-to-face firefight and just bully their way into the top floor. But that's gonna be an uphill battle, definitely. Sly just used one of his grenades. The gig is now up. His position is now known, and he is really playing it way too defensively for an attacker who is not even pushing into the objective. So it's all going to be coming down to what the guys on the top floor are doing. Karmata droning for the OBJ itself. Yeah, OBJ is pretty much open, but you're not going to be planting the diffuser as long as there's any defenders from POGCHAMP on the offices. Oh, are they? They are planting. How's that happening? Cobra getting a first kill. Karmata getting the plant barely not down. Oh, it was cancelled at the last second. He gets the no, it was planted. Okay, we just didn't hear it. They get the kill, flurry of kills, and now it is absolutely turned upside down. The attackers have the upper hand. It's just Jarvis getting a first kill. 2v2 situation now. Cobra at the top floor getting another kill. Now it's everything is up to Jarvis. His opponent here, Cobra, is really lit, is really low, but hey, you only need to hit him once. You still need to hit him once though. Senshi, at the end of the day, winning round 7.
Yes, sir. Now my question is Senshi actually going to win this series out? It might look to be so. It was a really strong start from POGCHAMPs, but Senshi closed it out in an amazing fashion. They took advantage of the aggression coming out of POGCHAMP's side. POGCHAMPs were a little bit overconfident. They thought they could win a lot of their face-to-face engagements, but after the plant on the side of Senshi, it went entirely downhill for POGCHAMPs. They didn't know what to do. They got caught off guard, and it showed. It definitely did. It was an amazing display of skill. It seems like Senshi was able to keep it under control, keep very calm in their engagements, whereas POGCHAMPs kind of panicked. They were running around, trying to figure out even what happened, just as things started going south.
So if I was to put it this way, it was a ninja plant.
It was.
Senshi had no right whatsoever to get the diffuser planted. POGCHAMPs were, figuratively speaking, all around at the top floor, granted. But still, there was no way this diffuser was supposed to be planted, so it is very much on POGCHAMPs' shoulders as a mistake rather than on Senshi's display of skill. They were able to find a dead spot and to successfully sneak, granted, but especially considering that Valkyrie and Mozzie are in the game, it was just not supposed to happen.
Seems like we're inching dangerously close to our point of no return, huh? And I'm hoping we don't get there. I'm hoping that POGCHAMPs, for the sake of entertainment, can bring back a few of their rounds and make this a good one. Make this a barn burner for us.
But that would also be the perfect story at a redemption coming off of Senshi. They lost the first map 7-0, but they were not beat up. They refused to give up hope, and look at where we are right now. Granted, like you said...
narrative.
Oh yeah, the narrative. It is not over. Like, you know, POGCHAMP can still win this map, but they will have to pick up the slack pretty quickly, as any mistake is going to put them in a point of no return or in an extremely uphill battle that, realistically speaking, we won't be expecting them to win. So, Jarvis, with the outdoors camera here, sees whose silhouette was that? I could not tell you. Oh, Sly. Okay, it was Buck. So, we know that Buck is going to be coming from that angle, and as such, Jaeger will be absolutely ready for this. Drip getting a first kill. Will he get the second? He jumps down at the very last moment, saving his life, but somebody ran down the stairs, and that is going to be refragged by Murdy. Now, the top floor is not exactly opened up, is not exactly cleared. Shell is still here, and should he have the pest set up in a appropriate manner, well, he would be pretty difficult to drone out. Jarvis also in the area. He has a natural cell. He can lob this above that a piece of furniture right here, but he does not seem to intend to doing so. In the meantime, Thermite is, oh yeah, double kill by Jarvis. Now a 2v4 situation. Cobra is trying to go up against the armory. Will that work? Apparently not. Oh, and that is just gonna be time slowly being chipped away. We can see he used the breaching round and just backed away immediately, effectively using utility to no avail.
Just like that. Trippin picks up another one of his kills, this time on Kardama. Cobra is the final attacker left to have to defend himself, make an execute, kill all the defenders. It just seems like an impossible situation mounting up against him in the matter of 45 seconds. So, I mean, who knows? He might be able to get this, might not. He flashed himself, though. Not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, that does not look too good.
Kill the player sitting in archives. No, not at the moment. He's gonna make his way through lockers. He knows one is sitting in sandwich, so he takes the kill on that, but he gets shot coming down the hatch as Ghost picks up our final kill for the round. Very anticlimactic.
It was. The good news is POGCHAMP, you know, they were not really allowed to lose any rounds if they want to have a realistic shot at winning the map. And, well, they did not lose that last round. They're not out of the woods yet, but, you know, with every victory gained, it is going to be closer and closer to an equilibrium, and from there, it's, you know, just the perfect starting point to actually pull this back and to win the map. It remains to be seen. We're not there just yet. You know, Senshi are also just 2 points away of actually winning this best of 3. But that attack was just not too decisive. The Nitro Cell, the nice double kill, Jaeger, who was absolutely ready the moment the Thermite's exothermic charge blew up. You could see that the defenders were absolutely ready for whatever was going to be coming their way.
And it's so insane to imagine that at this point, Senshi can take home the W in this series. I feel like we've been expecting entirely that POGCHAMP is going to win this out. I mean, we've casted them before. We know to an extent how they play. We know that they're seeded second versus the 15th seed, so statistically even they're on a higher level than Senshi. You know, so talking unbiasedly.
Here's the thing. When seeing, like you said, second seeded team against 15th seeded team going 7-0, how can you not expect them to win the next game? That's like the thing. No, we had no reason whatsoever to think they were gonna get it, you know? But hey, it ended up happening. For the second map, at least. For the third map, it, once again, is an ongoing dispute, which will be resolved pretty quickly. We are already on the 9th round after all, and as you probably know, unlimited overtime is not set or is not enabled for a regular game as this one. So the ending will be forced eventually, even though both teams, or even if both teams are on an extremely equal footing.
Right, so Kardama, he's going to be taking his first step into CCTV soon. Interestingly enough, it's not actually secured by the defense. So they left it completely open, and they're going to allow for the attackers themselves to take control of it, walk right in. So that's more area for the attackers to plan their execute on, to open up the armory wall breach, and get more angles. It might not be a good thing for the defenders. That's
definitely not going to be a good thing, since Drip is basically playing verticality where he's standing right here in the middle of the room, basically. Should that wall be opened, he will have to fall back, which he's exactly doing right as we speak, and as such, the main entrance is no longer actively being watched. Sly might even have been able to walk in and to play off of verticality. One thing to notice, this is the actual OBJ. Like, looking at the setup, it could have been just the proxy defense for Workshop, which it is not. So that reinforced wall is the end-all be-all. It's the end goal, not a proxy stepping stone. And as such, with over a minute remaining, both teams are still at max, say, player size, granted, but still losing nobody to roamers, or what would you? Proxy defense is pretty good for Senshi. as Ash goes in, gets killed off. Murray getting a refrag pretty quickly. 50 seconds, still plenty of time to plant a diffuser, but that bulletproof camera can prove to be cumbersome. Sly playing off of verticality with next to no success, unfortunately for him, and the smoke canisters are being tossed out with 40 seconds remaining. It is going to be cutting it close if you want to plant the diffuser.
Yeah, it seems like the attack has stagnated to an extent. They're gonna have to play a little bit more aggressive if they want to move in. Just as I say that though, Yoji and Murdy are going to play a little bit too far up. Ghost taking advantage of that, putting us to a 2v4 situation. It's not looking too good on the side of Senshi with about 15 seconds left. Chala, however, picking up yet another kill on Sly, just leaving Kardama himself. But he does get killed at the hands of Chala with that 416 carbine. Amazing gun.
If I may, it's the bulletproof camera that the attackers Senshi were unable to destroy. It stayed up till the very last second, and the only real pushes that we've seen came off of that balcony. You know, there was no actual attempt at attacking, for example, the office, you know? So that bulletproof camera saw everything, was never challenged, was never destroyed, and it was just feeding so much intel into the hands of POGCHAMP. That was nothing really Senshi could do given the current situation. And yeah, they just should have destroyed the camera or put in more effort to destroy it.
So 6 pick from Mazi to Mazi. What a great pick. No. Obviously, Chala didn't have enough time to pick from Mazi to anybody else. Unfortunate as it is, it's going to have to stay that way going into our 10th round of regulation play.
You know what the chat is? You know what the chat is saying? I have to agree with Michael DeLandro saying
North America
is gonna win this match. Yes, we are.
North America's gonna win. That's so funny.
All right, like we
North
were
America
talking about
is
the
gonna
energy.
win. You know what? I'm calling it right now. I think North America is gonna win. I'm pretty sure. I'm just, you know, I'm rooting
I've got a
for North
hunch.
America. Yeah, I've got a hunch.
All right,
It's just
so,
my spidey senses.
this defense, should you have not seen it, is quite unexpected. So here we are, bathroom tellers with absolutely nobody on said OBJ, with also no walls reinforced on OBJ itself. So it is going to be played entirely from A to Z by proxy defense. And as such, Senshi will have to attack the top floor as if it was the OBJ itself. Or maybe try to go for the, say, stealthy plant. It's worked once, but I really do expect POGCHAMP to be paying extra attention, knowing how they got punished for it last round. They will probably be implementing extra measures to ensure that such a stealth plant will not happen again. You know, Slight right here saying that it's not exactly being defended, just has to find a sneaky way into the OBJ. Let's see what it gives. For now, however, we are definitely going to be playing the anti-roaming phase, so there you go. Oh, that natural cell was a total flop. He manages to retrieve it, however, before the breach is being opened. That natural cell obviously does next to nothing, and both Drippin and Ghost actually seem to be falling back a little, which would open up the way for Senshi to just walk into the office room, assuming they win their firefights, which is just not gonna happen here. Drippin getting the first blood. Oh, and Drip taking lots of damage from the outside, from the balcony. That's gonna be Yoji. He's keeping up the pressure. Not really gonna get killed, but you know, eventually he's gonna be able to step foot in the building itself, and from there, he's gonna be right above the objective.
Right, and Buck down. That's lots and lots of utility off the board, not to mention the frag grenades, the AR. But Yoji, he's responding to that, getting a kill on that one Yordi. 2v3 situation, tripping bad, finding himself a double kill. 2v2 situation. The intensity is mounting. Chala and Jarvis left to defend the objective itself. The question is, who's going to be quicker on the draw? The attack attempting to plant, or Chala with the help of intel and those dead teammates on the cameras. Now, Jarvis, he is going to be sitting in inspection, so he does have an outside angle watching into the objective, hopefully. Now, Yoji and Murdy, they do have control of the entire top floor. They can make this an amazing execute if they do so attempt it. Now, inspection. That could be really contested here. Jarvis, he might be able to play on the flank if he could get it
might.
off. Yeah, it could
He's
happen.
too far off. He's too
Yeah,
far.
he's far right now, but he might be able to come back around, especially when the plan's going down. Chala, however, he's still gonna remain the first line of defense when it comes to the diffuser. However, IQ, Yoji, he's going to be watching a hard angle off on Chala, and Chala going down to the hands of Yoji. That IQ gun, amazing. Jarvis now getting shot up once again by Yoji, and Senshi finishing out round 10 for themselves.
Senshi are now officially in a match point situation. POGCHAMP's backs against the wall. We've talked about this, but oh boy, did I not expect this to happen. What a turnaround, what a comeback. That round, really, it did shape up to be a all or nothing type of plant. You know, the timer was running out. Both teams had led tremendously protecting and attacking the top floor. And as such, a 2v2 situation, you could see Modzi's positioning. So given that, I did not expect the plant to go down. But Chala was not exactly holding the bathroom as intensely as he was holding the tellers, which ended up leading to Murdy planting the diffuser. Yoji peeking aggressively on the replays. I did not expect him to win that first firefight, but the second one was a bit more predictable, say, since Valkyrie was in a 1v2 situation and more or less outflanked. So there you go. Match point. POGCHAMP have to win 2 rounds in a row to even get into overtime. How do you think it's gonna happen?
That's a really hard bet to make, especially because Vents and Workshop does not get played nearly as often as Tellers and Bathroom. So
yeah.
this could be a really good site for POGCHAMPs to go on, maybe to capture themselves around or so. If not, however, yeah, it is backs up against the wall. Any mistakes could cost them the match point. And I feel like at that point, that would be extremely embarrassing. 7-0 gone to a comeback. I mean, the narrative itself, that is an amazing, exactly, it is an amazing story. Comeback story of a lifetime. Senshi able to finally finish it off with a 7-4 scoreline.
Let's also remind ourselves that the community polling showed that people overwhelmingly expected POGCHAMPs to win the best of 3. They won the first map in just as a decisive manner as the chat seemed to be predicting. But oh boy, have we been proven wrong for the upcoming game, or for the next games. This is pretty much now or never. Nicely hidden cam here from Valkyrie. Thatcher will be picked off pretty rapidly. By whom, I am not exactly sure. Drip, right here.
Jarvis.
Was Jarvis. Okay, yeah, so Jarvis and Drip and Shala actually are roaming top floor. Heavy top floor hold. Let's see what it gives. 2 people now in... no, not exactly sandwich, but close to sandwich.
I mean, holding up here could be double-sided, especially because POGCHAMPs knows how to hold upstairs, but at the same time, if they play a little bit too aggressive, the attack could easily take advantage of that and win back some frags that they so desperately need. But there we go. That's going to be the first frag for the attack. Drip is going to go down to the hands of Yoji once again. He is on fire with that 5.52 commando. He's going to be walking right into Armory, picking up the diffuser. 1v3. Yoji finally getting another kill, this time on Jarvis.
She's looking the wrong way. If not, Chala could be easily peeking, but that kind of implies that he actually expects the push to come from that side, which in turn says that there is little in the way of intel going to POGCHAMPs' way. Oh, did he just...
No.
Oh, I thought I'd heard a punch.
I thought
that was a punch on the wall. But right now, he's in a firefight, getting the kill. Chala absolutely knows where Yoji is, but does not want to peek. In the meantime, that just leaves Yoji basically free to do whatever he wants and harassing his teammates and picking them off one by one. Droning.
Oh no, it's Chala. Is he gonna get the kill on Yoji?
He does not see him.
It's the free kill. What is he doing? He's gonna come up behind and he's gonna hit him and he's gonna get the final kill to win off round 11. That puts us at a 6-5 scoreline. That was almost embarrassing. That was almost. That
But I
was
mean, both
almost. It
players.
was close. It was close. Both players didn't know. Of course, they didn't have the intel on each other, but that was bad.
But
That was.
you know,
almost
here's
bad.
the thing. Here's the thing. IQ shouldn't have been droning out in the open like she did. And considering that she committed this mistake in the first place, well, Chala should have picked up on it way faster. Once, especially considering he's an intel-based operator, you know? He could have sent the drone in or something along those lines. I don't know how many drones he had been able to infect with the pests, but, you know, it's kind of ironic that the intel-based operator doesn't have access to intel. Well,
Right.
there you go. These are the replays. Yoji was able to really
Oh yeah, can
get
we
a
see the
few
scoreline?
kills. Oh, yes, of course.
I just
Let
want to
me
see the kill. How many
just-
kills Yoji has?
Let's just look at this.
7. He's going 7 and 4. I mean, this is only halfway match, but
Yeah, it's after the replays.
right.
Or the rehost, sorry.
Yeah, the rehost.
My bad. But match
I mean,
point
still.
situation still.
7 kills. That's crazy.
Both teams are in their own way backs against the wall. So if Senshi wants to win this quickly here and now, they have to win that round. And if not, it is going to be overtime. And from overtime, they're no longer going to have the upper hand. You know, it's going to be basically reset, 50-50 chance, since the scoreline is going to be even. Whereas POGCHAMP, their backs against the wall, basically playing for their spot in the upper bracket. Let's see what it gives. We will have Jarvis tossing out one black eye at the outside of the map as the attackers are spawning in. Have
They
not
can
heard
hire
anybody
Gotcha.
firing.
They can hire Gotcha to coach. Oh my gosh.
I don't think that Valkyrie cam has been spotted, but yeah, with Yoji playing IQ, it's just a matter of time. Or actually, it must have been destroyed. He's no longer seeing it.
Gotcha.eg. This game will never end. Unfortunate. Yeah, it's going on pretty long, but it's still a really good contest between these two.
Oh, it is.
It's
It
been
is.
oh yeah, it's been amazing game. Great show of talent. It's yeah, very very back and forth. Skill level here is uncanny, but
Can I
it is going to
just
be oh
back and forth is an understatement, to be honest.
true.
So, there we go. Ash opening this up. Obviously, we're gonna have Chala, who is droned out, destroys his drone immediately. The second one, however, is gonna make it out alive. So what the attackers, what Senshi now know, is that Chala did not retreat after being droned out the first time. This aggressive plays can be interesting. Oh, we saw Drip trying for the Nitro side. It got shut down pretty quickly. He has a nice cross angle. Just too late. That's gonna blow up though. So there we go. The attackers now are poised to funnel into the objective, assuming it's safe to do so, right? You still have to get the kills, but utility-wise, they were able to open up the reinforced wall, whereas POGCHAMPs were unable to basically contest the opening of said reinforced wall. With 1 minute 20 remaining on the clock, it seems to be shaping up to be a unilateral push, though. So I don't see any attackers trying to flank coming off of office and the like. So really, face-to-face firefight, whoever has the best aim is gonna win, and that's gonna be a kill and a refrag immediately. Murdy just stepping into the cloud of smoke, trying to get the kill. That nitro cell, oh, it's not a nitro cell, he's gonna make it out alive, but the nitro cell this time is gonna put short. Oh my god. Jarvis with the double kill, one with the nitro, one with the gun. And Ghost with the final kill cam.
Well, it was the rush, and it was the
It was the
unsecured rush that came back and blew up in Senshi's face. That is so unfortunate. It happens every time. I feel
It
like
does.
whenever
Yeah.
whenever one of these teams tries to rush in without having the actual objective secured, they attempt the plant, but something from below, it's either a nitro cell or it's actual face check engagements, it's just aggression coming from the defense, it's whatever, but it always dead stops the attack
Yeah.
and shuts them down completely.
Like, you would expect these high-level teams to know when it's safe to plant and to know when it's not safe to plant, and subsequently to not commit this simple mistake of like planting while it's not secure, right? But we've seen this situation happen once or twice now. It's nothing new, nothing extremely repetitive either, granted, but you know, it's not the kind of mistake of error I would expect from either of those teams.
Right, and on top of that, I feel like the attackers allowing themselves, and especially last round, they allowed themselves way too much isolated gunfights. It's almost like two people walk in and try to, you know, make an aggressive kill or step over the boundaries that they had for themselves and get shot. And then the rest of the team walks in and it's already too late. They can't make good enough refrags for themselves and just, it's too much for them to handle. They get overwhelmed.
So, overtime, roll swap, Senshi back at the defense, back with the infamous triple ACOG setup, which has not changed whatsoever throughout the rounds. Will POGCHAMP remember how they were playing, and will they adapt to it? Because the positioning is extremely predictable, considering it's basically what they were doing at the beginning of this map. Let's see. Oh, that's way more aggressive than what we've seen previously. That wall used to be reinforced. But their drone is going to be sent in, and obviously we're going to know about that aggressive angle. And as such, Ghost is probably not going to peek carelessly. Yeah, there you go. It would have been a stupid mistake to make.
Stupid mistake at that, but it could be Chala who loses his life with this pixel angle.
But the drone has been sent in. They know Murdy getting the kill.
They know. It's going to be him on the ACOG finding the shot on Chala. That tiny pixel peak, so unfortunate. However, Ash with this G36 is going to be coming in. What is she doing? She's watching intel from the sandwich window along with Jarvis. Yeah, holding their angles for her. Thank you so much, Jarvis. But Flash is going to be coming in on the sandwich windows. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of support is going to be going on for Crossfires. Now, Ghost himself is going to be moving around. This definitely seems like a secondary droning period, what you like to call it, where the attack is, they're trying to get a little bit more intel as to where the defense is, as to where they're situated, and kind of moving around to adjust to their positions.
And it seems as if the whole push has been halted and redirected to that east side. And you know, it's extremely dangerous to do so for exactly what we've seen right here with everybody on those balconies. You are just sitting ducks. There's nowhere to hide, no cover whatsoever. So you just have to rush in before anybody on Senshi's teams just goes for the run out. Jarvis absolutely ready to jump in, but obviously just about every angle is going to be watched by somebody on the blue team. And as such, there's no easy way or easy answer as to the question of how do I get in. Ghost is going to be putting pressure on the CCTV area with Cobra, who has rotated back there. His position is now known. And there's also a yokai drone, which will be destroyed, granted. Does Thermite know about his positioning? This gonna be, regardless, not gonna have any impact as he dies. Now a 2v4 situation. 3v2 situation. The diffuser, however, has been lost, so attackers are slowly setting foot on the objective. It is gonna be besides the point. You have 15 seconds to grab it back, and we're gonna have Cobra gets a kill on Jarvis. Another kill is gonna happen, and that is gonna be Senshi winning round 13. Once again, they are in match point situation.
Yeah, so it's really up to Senshi to finish off the last round they have for themselves. It seems like POGCHAMPs, especially on border, has just been clawing their way back every time to make it even, out. It's so back and forth. It's crazy. But great read of the situation and being able to shut down those two attackers walking into Archives and Armory.
Just to answer to somebody in the chat, there's no infinite OT. So this is now match point. There's this or another round after that, but that is going to be it. The matchup is extremely close, way closer, way more balanced and even than what we would have expected. But there's no way this map drags out for another, say, 20 minutes. So, this is going to be the scoreline. Ghost leading his team kills-wise with Jarvis trailing at a close second, whereas Senshi really are being held by Yoji. Armory Lockers, what do you expect coming from POGCHAMPs?
I expect a really orthodox hold from them. Nothing too out of the ordinary, because again, they're trying to go for the win. They're not trying to go for, you know, some crazy strategy like they could have done in that 7-0 match that they had on Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, though, it still is, you know, even playing orthodox, playing to your strengths could be a really good way to go about this defense round. Could get them their point that they need to even out the score line and get them a good attack round.
Yeah, there's kind of two ways or two schools of thought. The first would be to try to hide and obfuscate what you're doing to gain the advantage of surprise by doing so. And the other one would be to use just a known and reputable strategy simply because it's so good that even if the opponents, your opponents know what you're going to be doing, it's not going to matter because there's no way in hell to counter that given strategy. I believe it was like G2. They weren't exactly strat hiding, but their strats were so good even though the opponent team knew what they were going to go up against, they just couldn't counter it. Was it G2 or am I just confusing G2 with another team? Regardless, you get the point.
G2 has done it all. They have done it all.
Alright, Sly holding an angle. Oh, I feel like Valkyrie wanted to peek that, but he just leaves the angle just as the opportunity to get a kill presented itself. In the meantime, Murdy has opened up a reinforced wall right here by offices, and the first contestant to protect said offices will be Drip, who is a ways back, but he has the ACOG, so you know it does not matter too much. Yet somebody has to peek him.
And we know what the devastation of the TCSG can bring. We saw that happen in the Invitational, so we have an idea that ACOG can do to somebody who tries to face check the breach. However, Karma seems to be the first opponent coming up, but
Cobra.
I stand corrected. Cobra coming up for a quick engagement. Unfortunately, he does get shut down by Chala. However, Drip is going to be collateral. He's going down to that now with a 2v5 engagement. It seems like Sly is going to be yet another victim at the hands of Chala. Now, 1v5, so unfortunate as it is, Yoji is the final operator up in this run for Senshi.
Let me just say this. If he aces, that is going to be the perfect ending to an unpredictable game.
Right.
But realistically speaking, I don't expect him to do this. He's losing just too much health for a single kill. He's lost over half his health. Should that ratio keep true for the next engagement, he's just going to die without getting another kill. His position is now known. He has the diffuser granted, but you know, with 30 seconds, it is next to impossible for him to actually win that round, in my opinion. He might yet surprise us. Actually, I hope he surprises us, as it's going to be spectacular. But, you know, we gotta be realistic and we gotta temper our expectations. Double kill, second kill, but, you know, it was to be expected. A refrag happened immediately afterwards, putting us at the final round. Overtime match point situation for both teams now.
Now, one thing that Border favors is defense. And what scares me is the fact that POGCHAMP is on attack. So their Reign, I mean, their, you know, match Reign, that 7-0, could be entirely deteriorated over in the blink of an eye from this single round.
Let me just...
They could be demoted to the losers bracket, just like that.
Just like that, and that's the scary thing. Like, you know, no matter how badly you were beating your opponent, that can just dissipate in thin air just as quickly as it happened. If I was to play devil's advocate, the one thing that is playing in POGCHAMP's favor, if we were just to take a look at the game as I jump out of the replays, the defense here is going to be workshop and ventilation, so not exactly the primary bomb site, since the blue team here at Senshi have won armory last time they defended there. So, you know, it's not the exactly ideal situation for Senshi, but your point of having the upper hand by defending absolutely does remain.
True. And something we haven't seen yet, it's going to be Lesion. We don't normally see him being played.
Indeed.
By these two teams specifically. Of course, he is a pretty decent operator, being used on the front of Intel. Of course, we know what's happening to him. The debuff, the nerf. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah. He was too good.
He was
too good, but I feel like the debuff, I feel like the nerf was a bit too strong. I feel like the nerf they went too hard on the nerf hammer. It remains to be seen. Like, I might be wrong.
I don't know. I feel like he still will be sustained as an Intel operator.
Oh yeah,
just solely as an Intel operator. He doesn't do as much damage anymore, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Because his use in Pro League is still, I mean, it's still pretty good, high on the charts. It's just all intel for him. But
Yeah, yeah. Intel is the name. The name of the game is Intel, isn't it? Knowledge is power, and the difference between like Legion and Ela, especially since Legion is now losing his damage to the goo mines, it's just basically gonna be that he has more of them. You know, Ela. Once again, if you compare the two, because they're gonna have a really similar role. Ela does not have the indicator in her HUD, unlike Legion. So removing the indicator, not too big of a deal. But the thing is, the goo mines, they're just gonna be impacting your speed. Like the sight, your aim is not thrown off like the Grismot's mine are when you're affected by it. You know, which is, I think, the big difference between the two. And as such, removing the damage, I feel, is a bit harsh, but I do understand where it's coming from. Nonetheless, here we are. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining on the clock. It is now do or die for both teams. All 10 players are still alive. All 10 players are still at 100% HP. So both teams have been pretty conservative and more or less avoiding firefight. Murdy will absolutely be pushed here. He's been droned out. He's been flashed to no avail, but still, the drone is still up, so we are pushing. He's reloading, tossing a goo mine. Wrong timing. That's now Ash being refragged immediately by Cobra, though. What is going to happen next? Ghost is right here poised to just keep on the pressure, but at the same time, you have Sly, who's also keeping an interesting cross angle to also cover the same angle. So both teams are investing pretty heavily on the exact spot where the first firefight happened. Cobra receiving some pressure. Where is that pressure coming from? Error on the person. It is Ghost, who's absolutely ready. As soon as Cobra gets back up, he is done for. Now very low HP, but he is hidden for the time being. Are we aware? There we go. That's going to be an easy kill.
That's going to be a headshot for a Ghost with the commando. Now, Sly, he still is in a position to leverage a kill or so, but will he get refragged? That's the question. Now, Yoji sitting in Workshop. He has an upper advantage as well. This could be an amazing kill for him if Chala doesn't take advantage of it. However, Sly, he's going to pick up a double kill for himself. 3v1 situation. It is up to Jarvis, but he doesn't get it, and the defenders win out. Round 15, it is Senshi's game. And they took it.
What a game, and we've said it once too many times, but what a narrative. Senshi being beaten out 7-0. I cannot even begin to imagine what a hit it was to be to the morale. You start off losing in an impossible fashion, yet you end up bringing it back and winning not everything, because, you know, it's not the grand final. But wow, sending the second seeded team in the lower bracket right at their first game, especially as the 15th seeded team yourself, that's no small feat.
Oh, for sure. I don't think any of us expected Senshi to get as far as they did, let alone winning out the game itself. That
Indeed
was unprecedented, to say the least.
Indeed,
They did not have the right to do that to POGCHAMPs, to embarrass them that way. They did not.
And yet
it happened. And yet it happened. So unfortunate.
Wow. Okay, I am at a loss for words, and I feel like you are too.
I actually have a few words to say. So, at
Go ahead.
the risk that I'm selling myself out. Yeah, it is double elimination though. They have a way back.
It is double.
At
Yeah,
the
yeah,
risk
yeah.
of selling myself out, I think I might have to plug my socials.